Greetings, Natasha Harrison with Community Build Ventures. And I send you greetings on this day. Just a reflection. I had a very interesting phone call with an organization that was very interested. Actually, their HR consultant, they are moving towards centering racial equity within their organization and wanted a consultant to help them along the journey to one, really get connected with a vision, practices and principles around equity, racial equity, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they also wanted an implementation roadmap to bridge the gaps from where their organization is based on a previous assessment to where they envision their organization to be in regards to being more equity centered, more DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion centered. And so what's so interesting, our approach, and it is um, really grounded in science, that we know that caste systems and race systems have caused um, trauma in our bodies, and we carry it in our bodies. We inherit it from our ancestors. So it still lives in our bodies if we are not being conscious about our reactions to things, that we are, if we are not really trying to heal those wounds and practice self-care, especially if we are trying to tackle racial equity within our institutions. Also, we know that our institutions that are not centered in racial equity have caused great harm, have caused tremendous amount of harm, deadly harm, right? To people, especially the Black folks, right? And so if you are not in your institution really grounding in self-care and healing as you go on this journey to really confront, reckon, and really have truth and reconciliation, you're doing more harm in this process because your staff is believing you as a leader that you're really willing to move forward with this. And so the HR consultant for this organization, that, might I add, has the word human rights in as part of their name, says that she shared our proposal, really loved our proposal because she knew that the organization really needed what we were offering in terms of creating brave space, doing our brave space building framework that has rooted in it gratitude, intentions, feelings, getting grounded in those elements, understanding shared language, having community agreements, having community care tools, practices that when you're uncomfortable or angry or sad or indifferent, that you know how to continue along the work. But then also some assumptions about us that we're going to bring in here with us as positive ways of being and seeing each other along this journey, that we're always rooted in that. And the HR consultant from this organization stated to me that the executive director thought it was too touchy-feely for us. And what I have to say to that is that this leader is not really about doing racial equity work. So if this sounds like you and you're listening to this and you're a leader of an organization and you're unwilling to provide self-care and healing in this space as you talk about racial equity, you're doing more harm. You're going to catch a case, or figuratively or literally, you're going to catch hands from your employees. If you go down this road, you are doing more harm. This is about my life. This work for us at Community Build Ventures is about my life. This is about the lives of my children, future generations, my ancestors, my family. And so we know what it means to be Black and to understand all of the trauma and destruction, all of it intentional in its outcomes. And that when I'm in your institution, if you are not honoring the pain and reconciling with that and talking about it, because I'm showing up as my full authentic self. Also, if you're not allowing and really talking about self-care and healing in this work, you are not, allowing and creating a space for your employees to be their authentic selves. You are not disrupting white supremacy, period, if you are not doing this work around self-care and healing when you're doing racial equity, period. We hear this all the time at Community Build Ventures. Oh, it's fluff. Oh, it's now touchy feely is the new in our new vocabulary of reactions when we say it has to be grounded in this, to really explore your relation to your own affinity of as a Black person, a white person, a Latina, an indigenous person, Native person, right? You have to have some internal conversations about that, contemplation, curiosity, because that shows up in the institution. And those people of color are often diminished or erased in their full authentic selves and identity, which does not make your organization better. And so you have to be centered in self-care and healing. And I think I am most um, upset that an organization that literally has human rights in the name of their organization, two words that are part of the name of their organization, is unwilling to center self-care and healing for the employees that are um, all over the world, that are different colors, different religions, all of these, right? And they have decided, that it's too touchy-feely to really confront and reconcile. This leader is scared, and this leader is not doing the real work around racial equity, and not even doing the real work, right, of just baseline diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I'll end here. This is my soapbox moment and rant for the day, is that if you are a leader, listen loud and clear. If you are a leader and you're wanting to center racial equity within your organization and the way that you do work in community, you have to foundationally center brave space building and self-care and healing. Otherwise, you're doing more harm, and we would rather for you not to even go down this road. And with that, I am complete. I feel a whole lot better. That felt good. That was a self-care moment for me. And I hope all is well on your end. Bye.